Hello, I'm WBZ TV meteorologist Barry Burbank, and I have your forecast for the rest of this Saturday, the whole weekend, of course, and into much of the upcoming week as we say goodbye to February and welcome March. Well, last Saturday night and into early Sunday morning, remember what we had? The 5 to 8 inches of snow. Didn't take long for that snow to melt with all the warm weather that followed, but that was quite an interesting weekend last weekend when all this snow did fall. And not that much on Cape Cod, but this area got the 5 up to 8 inches. And then all of a sudden we transitioned right into historic warmth when it hit 70 on Tuesday and 72 on Wednesday in Boston. That 72 smashed the previous record by a whopping 9 degrees, the first back-to-back 70s that Boston has ever had in the wintertime, that months of December, January, and February, and the first February with 2 back-to-back days of 70+. So that was historic warmth, and of course you know what happened after Wednesday. We went to Thursday and we ended up with some snow. Not all that much, but certainly sleet and snow. So quite a transition this week. It's been a week of extremes for sure. But the month overall is incredibly warm. The mean temperature plus 5.4. So that's pretty whopping. We've had some warm Februarys recently, including last year at 2017, which was so warm. But the number 1 spot for the warmest February, 1925. The number 2 position is 1984. Number 3 is the blowtorch winter of 2012, tied with 1976. That was certainly, those 2 years are very warm for February's. And then so far we're in the number 5 slot, but it looks like we're going to work our way up the ladder here before this month is over. So we're looking at a ski forecast which is looking pretty good for this weekend. Today we're looking for just varying amounts of clouds over the mountains. Tomorrow looking for some snow. In fact, the northern ski areas will get at least 2 to 4 inches before it gets a little bit of freezing rain or mostly some sleet on top of it. Some areas up here, isolated spots could get 4 to 6 inches up in the mountains. Meantime, a coating to an inch, that would be happening tomorrow morning from about, just north of the Mass Pike, certainly up around Route 2 and northward, a coating to an inch. Just get over the border, and it's 1 to 2 inches in southern New Hampshire. Then it builds up to maybe 3 or 4 inches close to Concord, New Hampshire, northward. South of that line, there'll be a brief mix of snow and sleet going over to rain, but not much on the ground noticeable here, and then just plain rain over most of Connecticut, Rhode Island, southeastern Massachusetts, especially the southern areas. So as we go through the day, the cloud cover is going to roll right back in. We started out cloudy very early this morning. We cleared out beautifully. We've had sunshine. Now the clouds come back in by midday. And showers will scoot across the area, mainly south of the Mass Pike this afternoon. So it looks like some showers will be developing in here. Some places just sprinkles, but other places the rain may come down a little bit harder later this afternoon, but it shouldn't move up near or north of the Mass Pike. It'll stay dry for the afternoon, even though it turns cloudy. Then that whole thing will sink southward, and we'll have clearing coming down from the north tonight and colder air draining in at lower levels. So temperatures may be falling down into the low and middle 30s, maybe a few upper 20s north and west. That'll set the stage for the precipitation arriving tomorrow morning between 5 and 7 a.m. to be in the form of snow here in this blue stripe. And then south of that, in this area here, snow going over and mixing with sleet. And then south of that, it's rain. So then everything pushes northward gradually, and it looks like it'll switch over up into southern New Hampshire. But beyond that, there's going to be an extended period of snow causing the higher accumulations up there. By late afternoon, this rain will keep tapering off to drizzle. There could be some areas of fog around here tomorrow, and just going to be a kind of a dank, dismal day. But it'll clear out late tomorrow night, and Monday looks to be nice. Currently, the National Weather Service has a winter weather advisory up starting at 1 o'clock in the morning to about at least through midday tomorrow, but primarily from northern Worcester County and points west, maybe down in northern Connecticut for some icy spots with the snow and sleet which is developing. Here's the deal. This low is going to come right along the front, and it's going to come pointing right up toward New England. Now, a little breakaway wave may cause that few showers in southern New England later this afternoon, but mainly down in Connecticut, Rhode Island, and southeastern Massachusetts. These highs in the mid-50s. Very warm over the southeastern states, an incredibly warm winter down over a southeastern part of the country, and especially in Florida, while it's been amazingly brutally cold up in Canada. But that whole weather pattern is all going to start changing. The cold air is not going to be nearly as cold as it has been. And at the same time, as this cold air starts shrinking and starts warming up, we have a great big block here, but sometimes that sends the energy down south of us and turns situation along the East Coast into very stormy conditions. Even though it's no extreme cold, it could be turning stormy here late in the week. Tough to say how it's going to affect us, whether it's going to be the mid-Atlantic states or New England that gets a big storm Thursday or Friday, so we'll watch it very closely. Until then, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, those are the final 3 days of February, way above average temperatures. Tomorrow is the unsettled day with that snow to sleet briefly, going to rain, and then just kind of miserable and damp all day long. That's your forecast for now. You can watch WBZ News tonight at 6 and 11. You can also see it at 8 o'clock on My TV 38 for the latest news and weather updates. Have a nice weekend.